What's it feeling? Woo! Talk about good eating. Got them dialed in, 2 at a time. 2 at a time. Here we go, baby. I was headed out red fishing, but when we came through 90 right here, tide was dead. It's at the flip-flop right now. Figured to throw the boat in neutral, make a few casts. Third cast, bam, beautiful trout. Let's see what's happening here. Look at that. Look at that. What we got? Look at that croaker, guys. That is what's up right there, baby. Listen to it. Woo! You talk about good eating. This is fine eating. I can barely get my hands around this guy. He's so fat. That's a bull croaker there, baby. When they hit matrix shads, got the holy jolly on. That's big croakers. I'll take 50 of them over trout. I'm telling you, this is the saltwater perch right here, y'all. Feels like another speck. Feels like another speck. Yeah, baby. Get up here, baby. I've been diligently checking this spot for weeks. As the summertime, the end of the summer, when that river gets low, temperatures are hot, this is a hot spot, but I haven't been doing nothing. But saw the tide was slack again, tied on that ½ ounce with the holy jolly. I had faith in my place. I'm glad I did because they're here today, baby. We're about to pop them. That's a good shot. That'll work. So we're getting into that early autumn pattern. Still hot water, but as we get into this time of year and the water gets real good and salty, the white shrimp start pushing in. And the other day we ran into some speckled trout at the mouth of Eden Isles, and that's been a common theme over the last several summers, late summer, early fall. White shrimp getting Eden Isles, and those trout will get in there. And I came out of there, didn't see any birds hovering those shrimp this morning, so came straight to the deep waters and was going red fishing, like I said, and saw that the tide was dead here. And that's the only time you can really jig or fish this with plastic, is when the tide's real mellow, and it was. So we dropped the trolling motor, and I'm glad we did, because here they are right here. Gonna get some of these. Very, very common in the deep waters. Little throwback, let him be. But let me show you what we're doing here. So we're catching the end of a falling tide. It just quit falling. It's starting to barely trickle in. Before I know it, this is gonna be way too much of an incoming tide. We're gonna have to go do something else. But it's nice and mellow right now. I'm kind of throwing it all over, but the last couple bites I had, I'm throwing it behind these pillars right here, and there's several of them in here. And when you're fishing the 90 bridge, you want to be between 20 and 30 foot. You get into that 35 and 40, it's pretty deep. And you just wait. It's about a 15 to 20 count to get to the bottom. You can also Carolina rig if you want. Drop shot. Boom, hit the bottom, so then I'm gonna pop it and just do my basic poncho train pop, 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 and let it fall. And I'm just gonna keep it on that really deep bottom. And when it's calm like this and the tide's not that hard, I can see my bites and feel them, but as it gets harder, the tide gets harder and harder, it can be really complicated to feel a bite. This one's a 2024 keeper, but not this year. Let him go. Let's see if we can get a few more keepers and close this episode out. It's gotta be a trout. He's pulled all my slack out my line. I was letting it fall to the bottom. I just seen the whole line shoot straight. Oh, another big croaker. I'm shocked, but I am happy. Happy but shocked. Big old croak daddy. Got a box of these and a box of pretty trout. Another big old croaker. Another big old croaker. Got croakers for days, boy. If I had a little piece of dead shrimp, we'd load the boat with these things. The big ones, they hit the matrix shad. Another very effective rig, especially when the tide starts picking up like this. Go ahead and zoom in on the pylons. You see how that tide's really starting to gain some velocity. It's good to always have this in your tackle box. We just simply Carolina rig a big 1 ounce bank sinker, and you can use all kinds of different lures, but we're not on real big trout right now, so I just use a little baby small circle hook and the Matrix Mini. And whenever you do this, you can fish this up against the current rather than working it with the current, which is very important with a jig head. But since this gets to the bottom so easy, you can just kind of throw it out sideways. This is almost identical to Carolina rigging a live shrimp. And this is what Landon's been using a lot of today. You just let it get to the bottom. It gets down very easily. That's why it's good to use when the current starts peeling a little bit too much. And now that it's started peeling in a little harder than I like, Landon's doing all right, catching some decent white trout with this rig now. Simply rolling it off the bottom. And you just make short little casts. I like to concentrate right behind these big clusters. It breaks the current up a little bit. Just make short little casts. It's gonna get straight down to the bottom. It's about 30 foot right here on this one. And when it hits the bottom, you're simply just gonna pick it up and let it back down. Pick it up, let it back down. And when you're fishing it against the current, like I am on this particular cast, the current's gonna do all your action on that Matrix Mini for you. And if you're on some big trout, a Matrix Shad works good. You can just nose hook it and take that weight out. You got the weight up top, so you want to try to take the weight out of the lure if you can. That's a good one, baby. That's a good one. Yeah, boy. Holy jolly, doing work, baby. Beautiful fish. The tide's starting to trickle in now. And what the fish are doing is they wanting to get right behind that eddy break that these clusters of pylons are holding. Not the biggest trout in the world, but the keeper ratio is better than the throwback. So that's what you look for in the early fall, late summer. Get on some bites and just weed through them and get some keepers like this, man. Just remember, when that water temperature is 85, 90 degrees, them fish are gonna be deep. A little double up action. Got him dialed in behind this cluster of pylons right here. Got them dialed in, baby. Got them dialed in, 2 at a time. 2 at a time. One on a jig head, one on the Carolina rig. Deep water in the Wrigley's. When that Pearl River goes down, late summer, early fall, probably the best place to fish trout in the Pontchartrain Basin. Another keeper, baby. There we go. I'll go ahead and close it here. Nice keeper to finish it on. Fishing deep water in the Wrigley's on slack tides with the Holy Jolie Matrix Shad on heavy jig heads. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys. We do a lot of deep water jigging. You've seen us doing this in the, we did this in the Unknown Pass area, both in the mouth and on the bridge recently. L&N Bridge, we could be killing them on L&N this morning if we wanted to too. You just want to find light tide conditions when you're deep water dropping in the Wrigley's. But subscribe to the monthly bait box, get your hands on some big jig heads and some Holy Jolies. And when you see that tide mellow coming through the Wrigley's, give all of the bridges a try. They got speckled trout underneath them. Whoa, till next time, guys, good fishing. All right, guys, I got a little surprise for y'all. I'm gonna show you a little glimpse of this bad boy. Now, it's gonna be rigged with a little weighted hook, but since I'm Carolina rigging, I took that out. Look at that little shrimp imitation, little paddle tail. Stretchy plastic, indestructible. Catching specks on it. Be coming out, I wouldn't say soon. We're still working on it. I want to make sure it's nice and durable, but I love the action on it. Don't worry about the color. That's just a prototype. We're gonna have some pretty colors in it, but this could be a really, really beautiful bait for the Matrix family. The Matrix shrimp, baby.